We just had a fight.
We had a fight, guys.
Oh my god. Anyway, we're gonna talk about how we met. I'm so tired right now. But yeah, we're roommates.
We are roommates.
And we're eventually gonna break up one day because
Yes.
we're not going the same direction.
No.
So this is, you know, like
a season.
a season. It is. So even though we know each other very rarely, I would say though.
Very rarely.
Very rarely.
We get along really
It's mostly
well.
my fault. And it's mostly because I need more sleep.
I like that we got this on camera.
Whatever. Well, how did we meet? How did we even like get to this living situation?
I was living in Kansas City. I'm from Kansas City originally. And I had wanted to move to California for a while. Then my friend Caitlin messaged me. And
Caitlin is my sister-in-law.
Yes. She told me that they were starting a church in the Bay Area in California. She and I met. We were both missionaries to Mexico, and we got really close from that. And so that was about 10 years before that. We were both teenagers. So we'd known each other for quite a while at this point. And
Sorry. I know.
I need the context.
I know, you know. And we need some light comedy in between the context. Continue.
All right, thank you.
Palate cleanser.
So then I went to visit, and I decided what I wanted to do. I wanted to go move down there. So I was making plans for it and all that. Then she told me that her sister-in-law, who I'd never met, was also moving down there. So obviously, as one does when, you know, there are only 2 single people on the team, it was suggested that
You should get married.
we should room together because I was looking for a roommate.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, we decided we were going to do it. We hadn't met in person at all. I think we had talked on FaceTime a couple of times. And we hit it off on FaceTime, so I knew that it was probably going to be...
That's a lie. Because she said she was scared of
Well,
me.
I was scared of her because everyone was like, oh, you're rooming with Tiara. We hadn't found a place yet, so we stayed in one little tiny room for like 4 months, and that's when I knew that we were going to get along okay,
Yeah.
because we managed to live through that. So
And by manage, I mostly was not there.
mostly was not there. And then when I was like, this is a horrible situation, she's like, what are you talking about? And then you stayed for like 2 days
Because I got sick, and I was like,
we got to find a place.
it's time. It's time. And then we found an apartment in Napa, like 2 days later.
Yes.
And then we were moving.
Yeah.
Bread, that this house may never know hunger. Salt, that life may always have flavor. And wine, that joy and prosperity will reign forever. Welcome to our new home.
So we lived there. We moved there in December of 2019. So we'd only been there a couple months, and then all of a sudden we were quarantined.
COVID.
If anything, I think that room for 4 months was a preparation for being quarantined for a year.
It really was.
All
Alright, where are we going?
We are going to my job, / former job / will be a job again soon, hopefully, to pick up my last paycheck, and then we're gonna go on a hike.
Oh man.
I'm not anxious. Are you anxious? I'm
No.
fine. I'm fine.
It's all good.
It's all right.
Until April the 7th,
Yep. Apparently.
Yeah.
Thank you live from Napa, California.
Here, where are we?
We're at Home Depot, and apparently they're limiting the number of people that can be in the store at one point, so we're in line. Well, yeah, we were quarantined in California for a year, and that was an adventure for sure.
Yeah, because it's mostly my fault that we're in Utah, honestly.
I mean, yes.
Which I mean, it's fine.
I'm
I
happy
think
to
it's
be
fine.
here.
I feel like I needed some time to figure out what I really believed in, what I really wanted to do.
Yeah.
And here's the thing, like for me personally, the reason I joined the church plant was because I didn't have any other ideas.
Yeah.
Honestly. I was on the brink of finishing a documentary project, and after that I did not know what to do with my life. My brother and Caitlin had talked to me about like, hey, you know, we're gonna have community, we're doing this thing, and I was like, sounds good to me, like, you know, that sounds fun or whatever. But I found that I had always made these decisions and moved to places to support someone else's thing.
Yes.
And it wasn't support of someone else's thing. And so I started to realize, I think there's things that I do want to do myself as contribution. The way we contribute doesn't have to look a certain way. And so that had always been ministry and church work for me. And so learning that maybe I can do other things that could help people in other different ways, but not necessarily within a church context, was something I was learning. And I think it's something that I had to walk into. But I just know that I had, you know, you kind of have to step away from all of that for a bit. And I was like, well, now that I'm just doing all this remote work, we might as well live somewhere a little bit cheaper, so we can have a little bit more financial margin, really figure out what we want to do, you know, business-wise or creative-wise, just figure ourselves out. One day, I woke up with the word Ogden on my mind. Now, I had only been here in this area of Utah like 5-6 years ago for a trail race that I did here with my friend. We went to Park City, did the run. It was so much fun. And I just remember that Utah was so beautiful, but not being like, oh, I need to live there someday. But we were doing research, and we were still researching places in California, and, you know, everything's super expensive. And then I woke up with Ogden on my mind, and I started doing research, and I remember being at the kitchen table, and we were eating breakfast, and I was like, dude, this place, Ogden, Utah, is pretty cute, and it's really cheap. And this was like in October of 2020. And so we decided, okay, let's check it out. So in early February, we flew out here for a weekend to just look at some apartments, just kind of gauge the feel. And then we were moving in March.
I had never done a move that was just for me, a thing that was just like for me to be able to figure out what I wanted. And I was really struggling with figuring out what I wanted to do, what I wanted to focus on, because I feel like there were so many responsibilities to other people that were there.
Yeah.
And then, which they didn't make me feel that way. I just brought that upon
No,
myself.
that's totally, that's totally on us.
Yes, exactly.
Like always being like, oh, well, I'm here because of this other thing.
Yes.
It's just like, no.
Yes.
You know, to a degree, it's like you are in charge of this part of your life.
Yes.
And so I think just being in such a random place like Utah, where there's like nothing except you now figure it out, has been really helpful, honestly.
Really helpful. I mean, like, just as soon as we moved here, I think was when I really had the breakthrough about what I wanted for the course, what I wanted for long term, and I just didn't have the time or margin to be able to do that before then.
And that is how we became roomies, and how we're still roomies even in Utah. I feel really lucky that we are in a position to be able to figure things out.
Yes.
Because not everyone can just pick up and walk away and be like, I'm gonna go find myself. That's so eye-rolling.
I'm very thankful that we get along so well most of the time. And we get along
We do, though.
very, very well. But surprisingly, yeah.
Wait, should we be surprised?
No.
More people in this world
No.
need to get along. What are we gonna talk about next time? I have an idea.
Okay.
How about we talk about the differences between an Enneagram 4 and an Enneagram 8 living together?
That is something. I am an Enneagram 4. She's very much an Enneagram 8. And that's been an experience.
She loves 8s now because she used to be like scared of them.
I did, yes. And I think that 4s and 8s go very well together. That's my new theory.
Next time, tune in for Enneagram Secrets. I don't know.
Do-do-do-do.
I'm done. I'm done.